Okay, a little fun fact about me that you guys might not already know. So back in about 2010 through roughly 2016, I ran a pretty successful photography studio in the Seattle area where I focused primarily on photographing headshots. I started out using medium format film and then of course switched over to digital pretty quickly because the workflow was just so much faster. And if I'm allowed to toot my own horn for just a second, I was rated the #1 headshot photographer in Seattle for several years, and I was very much into working with my clients on their expressions, and more on that in just a few minutes. But during my time as a photographer, I photographed everyone from actors to comedians to authors and public speakers, magicians, kids, lawyers, plastic surgeons, local TV personalities, architects, real estate brokers, artists, and regular people who just kind of wanted to spice up their dating profiles, and even some high-profile people from some tech companies based in Seattle that you probably heard about. So a few years later, when I moved to California, I started doing a lot more commercial advertising work and product work for some larger companies. And this continued for several years, and then when my largest client changed ownerships, my contract wasn't renewed. Which at the time kind of sucked a little bit, but in reality, my heart just wasn't in the game anymore. Okay, so all of that is said to provide a little background and some credibility with today's subject of how to look better in front of the camera, because that was kind of my specialty. But listen, think about it. When somebody points a camera at you, it's kind of weird, right? Like, we can't see ourselves, so we don't know if we look cool or if we need to move a little bit to the left or rotate our faces this way. It's very unnatural, and if you don't have somebody giving you direction, you kind of have no idea what looks good or even what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so let me show you guys something. So I would have people walk in my studio completely freaked out looking like this and walk out looking more like this. Let me show you one more. Now, she walked in looking like this, and she walked out looking like this. Okay, one more because this is super fun. So here's a before and an after. I was basically changing people's faces because very few people know how to give an expression that conveys approachability with confidence on their face without any direction. So do me a favor, pause this video and go look in a mirror, or at some point today, go look in a mirror and make an expression on your face that conveys confidence with approachability. This is very important, so I'll wait. Okay, you're back. Pretty difficult, right? Okay, if you found an expression that worked, make it again right now without the mirror. Are you doing it? How do you know if you're doing it right? So this is where a good photographer comes in. So I'm gonna give you my #1 most valuable, tried and true, never fails trick that you can use to look better in photos, so don't go anywhere. But first, I wanna let you know about today's video sponsor, Slick Collar. And I've talked about Slick Collar before, and I use it myself, including right now. And I wish I knew about these things years ago because I was using tape and wadded up tissue paper trying to fix guys' collars all the time. This will instantly fix your sloppy collar, and it does it in a way that still looks natural, so nobody even knows it's there. And once it's on, you totally forget about it because you can't even feel it. And the best part is, you don't have to take all your shirts to a tailor to modify anything to get these to work. You buy it once and swap it from shirt to shirt. It's super flexible, and the new white silicone pads keep it from sliding around underneath your collar. They've got amazing customer service, and they provide a no-nonsense, no questions asked, 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee. They also offer free fast shipping across the US and discounted international shipping. And you can now choose to get it with a white or a black EDC box to store some of your other everyday carry items. I'm going to put a special link with a discount code down in the description, and I really do encourage you to go check these guys out and pick one up for yourself. Okay, I promised you my most valuable technique, but I'm going to do you guys even one better. I'm going to show you that technique that you can use with your facial expressions, and I'm also going to show you some that you can use with your body. Okay, are you ready? The #1 thing that I wanted people to do when they were in my studio was to squint. Now, stay with me. Let me explain. Okay, who remembers Tyra Banks always talking about the smize or smiling with your eyes? I mean, regular people have no idea what that means or even how to do it. So I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The smize is a squint, and I'll show you right now. Okay, so I had to go dust this thing off, but this was sort of like my Bible in my studio. I've got tear sheets in here from different magazines, and I would always show this to clients to help coach them through their expressions. And it would also help with kind of why I was asking them to do something so weird that no other photographer has ever asked them to do. Let me show you this. Okay, so like I mentioned, I would show this to pretty much everybody that came through my studio. And really, it would just be a way to show them why I'm asking them to do what I'm asking them to do. So I'll go through this pretty quickly. The Nautica model looks very cool. What's he doing? He's squinting his eyes, right? He looks very in charge. She looks incredible, but why? Why does she look the way she does? She's squinting her eyes and she's giving you a little bit of a mouth smirk. It's almost like she knows something you don't know. She has a secret and she's going to use it against you someday, and she knows it. It's a little devious, right? Same thing with all these guys. Like, as guys, we just want to look cool in photos. What are they all doing? They're all squinting. Okay, next. Bruce Willis is a badass. It's like he's better than you and he knows it. Do you see that on his face? Halle Berry, one of the most beautiful women on the planet, and what's she doing? She's squinting and giving you that little bit of a secret, sort of a sneaky little devious smirk on her mouth, right? These are a little different, off kilter. Marissa Tomei, she knows what she's doing. This one doesn't. She looks freaked out. It's almost like she's saying, why is she touching me? Why did they give her the hotter dress? But if you can see Marissa Tomei's eyes, she knows what she's doing. So this guy, he's pretty cool, but the baby is absolutely killing it. Jane Lynch. Look at Jane Lynch. She's a boss. She's squinting her eyes. She knows something you don't know. She's better than you and she knows it, right? Come on. Okay, I kind of like this one. This is 25 years of Brad Pitt. In 1987, Brad Pitt didn't know he was Brad Pitt yet, right? Have you ever seen a goofier picture of Brad Pitt? Today, Brad Pitt knows what he's doing when the camera is pointed at his face. Elle Macpherson. She looks absolutely freaked out. Her eyeballs are enormous. She has no idea what she's doing. She looks a little scared. Josh Brolin, come on, he's a badass. Anyway, I do this one too. 3 dogs. Which one's the coolest looking dog? This one because it's squinting. These 2 dogs are freaked out, but this one looks really cool. Okay, now listen. All that stuff is great and everything, and it's nice to be aware of some new techniques, but this isn't something you're going to really perfect right away. It's a little advanced, and it will take a little bit of practice. But as you can see, it absolutely works. Now, the next thing you can do is, maybe you're doing some 3/4 length or some full body shots, is to turn your body slightly away from the camera and not just be so square onto the camera. Photos are only 2-dimensional, so it's very easy to look heavier than you actually are in photos, and that's not your fault. Okay, so if you're a bigger guy, angle your shoulders slightly away and then turn your head back towards the camera. This also works for women. And since I just mentioned women, we can learn a lot from how women are posed. Okay, so we like to pose women to show curves and a waistline. And one of the best ways to do that very quickly is by turning her body slightly and then creating airspace between her arms and her torso. So if we pose people with their arms straight down by their sides, they appear to have less shape and they appear larger because remember, photos are only 2-dimensional. However, if we let some elbows fly out just a little bit to create some airspace, we instantly give them more shape and we've just helped to slim them down a little bit. It's a very subtle move and nobody should really catch on that you're doing it, as long as you don't get all crazy and chicken wing it. Okay, another thing you can do is to always remember that the hand towards camera goes in your pants pocket. But not only that, don't stuff your hand all the way in and smash your arm up against your body. Remember, we want a little bit of airspace in here, so go hand in pocket, but only about halfway in, and then move your elbow out away from your body slightly to just help create a little bit of space. Like I said, nobody should even know what you're doing because like I mentioned, it's subtle. It does not have to be a big move. Okay, last one because I gotta let you guys go at some point and I could probably go on about this stuff for like another hour. But the last one is to tighten up the double chin. Here's how I like to do it. Okay, so it's no secret that I was not blessed with chiseled jawline DNA. Even 8 years ago when I was at the gym every day and I was as lean as I've ever been, I still had a bunch of this trash. So the easiest way to get rid of it in photos is to go forehead towards camera like a chicken, then go chin down. So you can think about the tip of your nose towards camera if you want to, but The whole idea here is to keep your shoulders where they are and then only push your face towards the camera. Then lower your chin down a little bit. I mean, all we're doing is basically stretching the skin here and then hiding it by lowering your chin slightly. Do this in the mirror and I promise you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's very uncomfortable and it feels very awkward, but it works every time. Okay, so let me see if I can do it for you. Are you ready? We're basically going from here to here. Okay, so if you want to see a part 2 video that involves more like outdoor walking shots, or if you learned anything from this video, please tap the like button because it really does make a difference. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, my friends, live well, and I'll see you in the next one.